Hey guys, and welcome to an awesome showdown. I'm a Rubber Duck War, and once again with a fantastic replay sent in by the master himself, Palpatine. He's been busy recently sending replays left, right, and center. They've all been so good, I've cast so many of them. And this one is going to be a domination game between the Ogre Kingdoms and the forces of Slaanesh here on the Silver Spire map. And it should be good fun all round, so let's delve into the builds. We do have a load of Noblars and Ogre Bulls making up the majority of the main battle line here. A couple of Saber-Tusk packs are now starting to bound through the trees. We even have a Slaughtermaster who always looks like he's run like he may have accidentally pooped himself. I don't know if other people will agree, but he has that toddler waddle about him. He's going to be leading the battle line. More importantly, though, we have a double giant. Giants are certainly a bucket ton of fun. I feel really bad for these ones because they are slave giants. You can see they've been horribly mutilated and kind of forced into servitude. They do have the ability to phase through trees, and that's got to count for something at the end of the day and work quite big in their favor when it comes to a tree combat. Oppose them is the forces of Slaanesh. I think they can certainly struggle in this matchup sometimes, but they have a nice few tools to deal with the Ogres, and that is their fast-hitting cavalry. We have double Hellstriders on the right-hand side here. Looks like we have even more Hellstriders, including the Hellscourgers and Seekers of Slaanesh on the left-hand side. Then make up the main battle line, it's going to be Marauders. We have Hellscourgers and Spears, and leading the battle charge is going to be Nakari himself, looking pretty damn fabulous as always. It's going to be two giants in a sea of pink. Will they be able to overwhelm the Slaanesh forces, or they get dragged down by those shock and awe tactics of the sneaky Slaanesh? Only time will tell. Looks like both players will be moving their armies into the middle of the map, which is normally how domination games start. There's no real need to go for the side objectives just yet. They're not currently open. Looks like the cavalry is going to be whipping up and around. I like this play from the Slaanesh player, but there is no back line to actually get into today for the Ogre Kingdoms, perhaps knowing that Slaanesh are really good at mobility and bouncing around the map. The Glorious Slave Giant is going to be bounded into combat. Look how tiny the little Noblars are alongside him. But they are equal in heart and bravery, charging alongside him, and they're helping him out. Though there are some spearmen starting to saturate in here, which maybe won't go quite so well. We do have Hellstriders going in, but they're going to get really badly bullied here with the Bull Gorger go down the Ogre Bulls, increasing their armor piercing, which won't be that effective, but also increasing their melee attack, and they are dumpstering the enemy cavalry right here. It's also been hit by a Brain Gobbler that's going to be able to break their leadership relatively quickly. So the Giants are currently in the sea of pink where we expect them to be. One gets a big whip across the back. He's not a fan of that. He's been whipped far too many times in his life. And it looks like he's going to maybe try and get a little bit of justice by beating back these Marauder Hellscourgers. Nakari's jumping through the enemy infantry at the moment, really wants to try to get to tussle with these big single entities where possible. And on the flanks we have Hellstriders once again swooping in. Looks like the Ogre player has summoned some Saber-Tusk packs as well as another, Iron Fist Ogre Bulls from this side. They're going to be moving in and jumping on to the enemy cavalry. A lot of players forget on this map you can summon from both sides of your end of the map, and not enough players do it whatsoever. Looks like these guys are doing it though, as we have Hellstriders moving in, and it looks like the Seekers, not Heartseekers, sorry, have indeed moved around from Objective 1, floating up behind, and are now shutting down Noblars in the back, looking to get some big rear attacks going. Very pitched battle so far. Lovely whip comes in. Doesn't do that much damage, unfortunately, from the Nakari, who's currently getting kind of dwarfed by this giant. He really is the giant of the giants. Comes with a big old right fist there to the face of the Nakari, who actually turns tails and runs. Does a few slice animations, picks on some people more her size in the form of Noblars. Big slice and shards comes down in the distance, so that does some massive damage. Really going to help out Slaanesh. Seem to be struggling a little bit so far in the fight. We also have more cavalry swooping in, this time in the form of Seekers of Slaanesh. Jumping on top of the Saber-Tusk packs as well as the Ogre Bulls. They've been hit by Phantasmagoria as well, lowering their leadership, and I think we're going to see a lot of units break. In fact, 1, 2, 3 units, 4 units of the Ogre Kingdoms break here in one go. Really lovely catch there by the Slaanesh player, who's starting to get a bit of a grip in the middle of the battlefield. He's managed to push through and overwhelm this left-hand flank. Noblars and Ogre Bulls are running to save their own skin. There is a lot of Mournfang cavalry and Saber-Tusk packs around though, trying to shore up the middle deployment here. But it looks like it's currently held by Ogre Kingdoms. The middle objective is going very back and forth. Slaanesh need to move in these Hellstriders, and that should be enough to tip the balance and actually claim Objective 2. Objective 3 is currently barren, as is Objective 1. Neither player has indeed gone for it. And it looks like Objective 2, it's going back and forth. It's so close right now. But Slaanesh are just about taking it. Mournfang cavalry are bounding up and around. Love to see these guys in action. Actually quite powerful. And I think more King of players should certainly bring them. The giant does come with a big old slap, catching at the knee of Nakari there, trying to pop it out its socket. Having Akari does fight back, and the giant gets staggered a little bit, unfortunately, and these guys are now just going to be nipping at their heels. The beautiful little Seekers of Slaanesh. Big slash comes across the face there. Downward slice with the blade, doing some pretty awesome damage. Slaughtermaster does pop extra ingredients, but needs to be really careful not to be overwhelmed here. The Ogre Kingdom army is in complete disarray. The entire force is starting to run and fall back. We do have the Seekers who can continue to get aggressive. Slaanesh force is looking pretty beat up as well, though. The Mournfang cavalry are riding dirty to come try and save their liege lord, who's certainly in a bad situation, although he does have the support of the giants as well. It looks like we're going to get to see a lovely troll guts go down on the injured giants, keep him in the action a little bit longer. Slaughtermaster is terrified. I do not blame him. There's a lot of carnage going on here today so far, and Nakari once again going after those giants on some big damage. Very impressed here with the Lord play from the Slaanesh player. Once again, we have a Phantasmagoria go down on the Mournfang cavalry, as well as the Slaughtermaster here, and they're going to be losing a lot of leadership and perhaps breaking. If they break, I'd like to see the Slaanesh forces pursue them and run them down. It looks like the Seekers are doing just that as well. Definitely want to jump on top of the Mournfang cavalry. Objective 3 is starting to be secured by the Ogre Kingdom player. Looks like Slaanesh not really bothered about their home objective. They're going gun-ho right now for the center, and it's such a hotly contested fight. In fact, somehow the Ogres are allegedly claiming this with more capture weight. I don't believe that. It looks like they will be starting to go down once more, though. Nakari is in a bad situation in the Ogre sandwich, which isn't really where anyone wants to be, though. Nakari is Slaanesh, so maybe that's their kind of thing. Two giants either side of them, and getting bonked on the head by a club. Each to their own. Dismember goes down. Acceleration, speed, and charge speed has been reduced. That's going to stop Nakari from being able to escape too effectively. So Dismember has bounced around and affected quite a lot of units. The Giants are in hot pursuit. We did get a Bull Gorger go down. Love that combination. Bull Gorger on the Giant to ensure they hit. 90 melee attack. Very impressive stuff for sure. We do have Ogre Bull Iron Fist chasing down the glorious Seekers of Slaanesh. Should be able to give it to them and beat them back nicely. Those big blades are hacking and slicing. The Seekers did a decent job, though, all round as well. They're not backing down from a fight. We also have Sweet Sorrow Pop by the faction ability of Slaanesh. That's going to increase their speed and vigor quite a lot, which is actually quite nice over the course of an entire army. The objective is starting to go back to the Ogre's hands, it would seem. They've got objective 3. They're actually ahead on ticket, despite losing that middle fight, because they did hold that objective for a considerable amount of time. Cheeky little whip comes in. Only here Noblars, though. Not going to be getting that much value, I wouldn't have thought, from Nakari here. Up to 85 kills so far. It looks like the Hellstriders, as well as the Seekers, are attempting to stem the tide from the deployment zone of the Ogre Kingdoms, and it was working pretty effectively. Unfortunately for them, the Powder Guts are now online, and they can do some really nice fire from the safety right back in their own deployment zone, and they're doing some big damage to Nakari, and it looks like the Ogres may start to wrestle control of the battlefield once more. In the main fight, though, due to the fact the Ogre reinforcements have been slowed down and stemmed by the forces of Slaanesh who have moved forward, it looks like they are struggling to actually claim this middle objective still. We've got some very healthy Ogre Bulls in here, and still double giants continue to fight. They have been swarmed by infantry moving on to the objective. Hellstriders also overwhelm the Ogre Bulls. Definitely to see at least one unit of cavalry just float down and capture objective 1. It applies so much pressure to the Ogres, particularly in the latter stages of the battle. It looks like they're really committed to winning this middle fight at the moment. And it looks like it is starting to pay off, because they've got loads of good backline harass onto the enemy. Unfortunately for them, though, the Powder Gods are able to stabilize the back here. Really clutch summon coming in there by Papa Palpatine's Ogre Kingdoms. They're continuously popping shots and firing. Nakari is in hot retreat right now, going back to the center, where hopefully he'll be a bit more useful once again. The Stealer Sword does go down. He's going to be hitting like an absolute truck right now, is Nakari. But, you know, Double Giant is scary, particularly because Nakari is so low HP right now. Big fat headbutt goes to the face, and those Ogre pistols laying on that thick overload of firepower into the rear are really starting to add up quite badly. Down to just 400 HP for Nakari. Not looking too good in the leadership department, but the objective looks pretty secure. There is so much cavalry on the battlefield right now for the forces of Slaanesh, and despite the Giants still being alive and active, they are getting quite beat up. We are going to get a heal go down. It looks like it's going to go down on the healthier giant, which is an interesting choice. Maybe looking just to, he thinks this giant is done for and won't have a chance to actually heal up. Phantasmagoria once again goes down. It looks like Nakari was able to actually stabilize here, which is pretty huge. That's going to be enough to break this giant from the battlefield, as well as the Slaughtermaster. So Slaanesh certainly have a lot of teeth, despite the fact it seems inevitable they're going to lose their lord here. And down he actually goes. The Powder Guts rub their bellies, pat them, and say good job there, lads. Objective 3 still well and truly in Ogre Kingdom hands. Been no backline harass, really. Ogre Bulls and Nobblers are holding that objective, and still the Slaanesh player seems to have completely forgotten the home objective here. Just move like even a beat-up unit of Hellstriders back there, because you are losing ticket-wise despite all this good pressure, and that's allowing the Ogre Kingdoms to really come back into this game. It looks like the Seekers are doing a decent job just running down that Slaughtermaster, attempting to finish him off as he does waddle to the nearest toilet. The Giant is doing absolutely fine though, 7,200 HP, doing an absolute raid boss so far, and every time I look at him there's just a kind of never-ending tide of these little ants, I suppose, to him, kind of darting all around him, and he's getting really annoyed with them. Up to 94 kills, so he's squished a little gnat today. That's going up to 95 kills. Now we have Ogre Balls moving in to help out support, and that looks like it is going to start to push the tide back in favor of the Ogre Kingdoms. Objective 2 does look like it may indeed fall here. Noblars are moving in, and the Powder Guts have been a absolutely fantastic pick from Papa Palpatine. They've stabilized his back line, and he's forced back a lot of the Slaanesh forces who simply stuck around too long. They held the objective, they didn't pursue their advantage of double capping early enough, and now it looks like they could indeed pay the price, so there's still plenty of the game left to go. This Giant rallies. He only has 350 HP, but I do not mind this whatsoever. You're very unlikely to be able to get him back onto the battlefield this late into the game, as he is quite an expensive addition. So moving him over just as a bit of extra meat on Objective 3, I like that quite a lot, particularly if he can saturate himself amongst Noblars and other infantry units. Looks like Slaanesh is still fighting hard on this objective and just about holding it for now. We do have spears moving in. The Fiends of Slaanesh doing a decent job. Once again, that Slaughtermaster is broken. He's been broken so many times. They need to give this guy some kind of nickname. I'll let you guys come up with one in the comment section down below. But he just constantly runs away. But I guess, he always comes back. And he's like a bit of a boomerang, I suppose. The Giant's doing a decent job now. He's saturated amongst Fiends of Slaanesh, who are pretty gnarly combatants indeed. But the Giant won't have too much problems beating them back, and it looks like the Ogre Kingdoms are able to secure this central objective. Powder Guts are moving up, popping shots, Ogre Balls as well. Sabertusk Pack can now start charging into the back line and do kind of a reversal of what Slaanesh was doing to them in the early game and start harassing their deployment zone. These Marauders, they're not going to stand a chance if they get rear-attacked by the Sabertusks, who are with joyful glee bounded across the battlefield, and they send the Slaanesh Warriors flying, devouring their heads and just, pitter-pattering their beautiful little feeties on their bodies and trampling them into the ground. We do have Hellstriders once again pushing into the middle fight, but I think the Ogre Kingdoms are hugely in a big state of advantage right now, and I think it is kind of the undoing of the Slaanesh player. They didn't push his advantage quick enough, because by this point, if he had captured Objective 1 in the early game, the Ogres would need a triple cap, and he could, pull a lot of his resources down here to his objective to help protect it, whilst also doing some backline harass with his fast mobile units. Unfortunately now, he's got the situation where he has to get the objective back from the middle. Once Ogres are dug in deep, it's really hard. Hellstriders are forced back. It looks like finally the Slaughtermaster did go down. And, he goes down like all of us want to, surrounded by crazed Slaaneshi fanatics. And it looks like the Powder Guards are moving into combat. They've used up the majority of their ammunition and driving away now the enemy cavalry, which is going for a pretty bold play here. Going to be applying a lot of pressure to the home objective of the Ogre Kingdoms. It's not a bad little gang to do that. We have Fiends to kill the infantry, and the Hellstriders to help down the larger threats here. That Giant is incredibly weak right now. We do have more Noblars being moved up, and some of them could even just move down to Objective 3. I don't think they're going to be needed. The Ogre Balls took a massive amount of damage there, but the Giant has indeed received a heal, it seems. My God, he's up to 4,000 HP. What is this madness? He must have been getting held up by the Slaughtermaster, I guess. I don't even know. He is a beefy right now. That is insane. Is this the other Giant? No, he's over here. What is this? Okay, he ate like a... I don't know what he ate. He ate a real healthy, hearty meal. And seems like he's back at his best right now. He is beating back Fiends as well as Hellstriders doing a fantastic job. Sabertusks need to just rear attack in here and jump on these bad boys. And the Giant should have enough to secure it. It looks like Slaanesh will very briefly claim this objective. With the Powder Guts going down there is simply no help. Likewise, we even have a double arrow pointing up. That's how dominant the Ogre Kingdoms are in this central objective. Noblar trappers are just here to vibe and have a good time. They wanted to see the sights, and the Hellstriders are forcing them back. Luckily, they got the Papa Giant in here who can aid them in their good little journey. Should have enough to beat back the force of Slaanesh. And they're now throwing all their units onto that middle objective. Objective 1 is completely open. It would be cool to see, trappers or something go for a bit of a slow push around that side to try and overwhelm and claim that objective. But yeah, it looks like objective 3, it's all secure. The Giant, he's got this, as well as the Powder Guts in combination. There is no hope for the Hellstriders. You cannot outrun them, Hellstriders. They will hunt you, they will find you, and they will kill you. The Saber Tusks are inevitable, and it looks like they're going to do just that, killing the Hellstriders, and once again securing objective number 3. Slaanesh is still pushing hard, but it looks like the Slaanesh player does decide, you know what? I give up. I can't do anything here. Let's save our troops, save our men and our ladies, and you know, fall back and live to fight another day. And I don't blame them on that decision. I think the game was basically over at that point. Just Bill and Ben, the two giants, did an absolute shift here. 3,151 gold value on one giant, 2,450 on the other. Really lovely play. I love to see the giants being used well like this. And I think against Slaanesh, they're one of the kind of factions they can perform really, really well in. I'd quite like to see them up against Nurgle as well and see how they perform in that matchup. Massive shout out to Papa Palpatine for sending this one in. It was a really awesome one to cast and I enjoyed getting into it. If you guys enjoyed it as well, make sure to leave a big fat juicy thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel as well for more Total War content into the future. And feel free to leave a comment down below. All of those free things really help push the videos out. We can hopefully get, you know, more people involved in this glorious multiplayer scene. Below links as well to Twitch, Patreon, and Discord in the description down below. We are looking to actually do a couple of streams on Twitch. I believe me and Logic are going to do some joint streams soon. And yeah, Patreon is where you can support the channel financially. Massive shout out to my patrons and members here on YouTube. They're the guys who keep the channel going. And yeah, you can also send in replays to me on Discord, get involved in live streams, tournaments, events, and all that kind of cool fun stuff. There should probably be a live stream on the day this comes out. So I'm not sure if this will be before or after that live stream, but either way, make sure to subscribe so you can check out when those live streams will be going live in a neighborhood near you. Until next time, guys, peace, peace. And as always, stay awesome.